People of the internet, the Austin comedy scene is slowly dying, and now there are a ton of comedians speaking up about their experience there and why they didn't like it. So today we're going to hear from a bunch of comedians about why the Rogansphere and the Austin comedy scene are slowly dying and a bad place for comics, and what they think it has done to comedy. Let's go.
There's something about the place that I'm just not...
the place you mean Austin?
Yeah, the mothership Austin, that's all one.
You just mean, so you're talking about just this whole concept of Austin comedy?
Yeah, Austin comedy.
I didn't like the vibe at the mothership. I got in trouble for being in the green room, apparently.
Oh, you did?
I got a security guard took me into the green room.
Took you right out.
And I was like, hello. And then apparently after I wasn't invited in. So apparently Joe was mad at me.
Do you see? That's another green room incident. They're just racking up. Is Joe? Joe has to be a cult leader. This is what cults do. They protect their inner circle as they feel it all coming in and caving in around them. They cast everybody out. They keep threats away from them. They don't want anybody influencing their thoughts or speaking the truth to them. It is a bad sign that Joe Rogan is losing it on people. It could be the end. It could be the end for Joe Rogan very soon. I saw a video that said Chris Cuomo, he was talking to Tim Dillon, and he was telling, Chris Cuomo was telling Tim Dillon that Rogan is going to have a big disastrous event, and he's not going to have the same amount of pull next year. So it seems that the predictions are in. Joe Rogan, cult leader.
It's the other comedians.
Mm-hmm. You don't like it?
It's very F-word. It's that. Women are stupid. Women are unfunny. Women are...
Austin's comedy scene is now going through a PR nightmare. It's had its fair share of critique over the last few years, but these days, man, it feels like when Austin comedy is mentioned, it's not in a good light. And I'm not just referring to Elephant Graveyard and Mark Maron, who have helped shine a light on everything wrong with this new scene, but we're now seeing more open critique from within the industry. Even just recently, Stavros had comic Jordan Jensen on his podcast, and after she said a trans slur multiple times and then kept trying to make a point about trans people, which she was doing for a bit, still Stavros used Austin as a verb to criticize her.
You have gotten like Austin trans brain. Like you know what I mean? Like it really is at the top of your head.
No, because
you immediately brought it up as soon as the podcast started.
No, because
this is the first time I've heard the term Austin trans brain, but I somehow knew exactly what he was referring to. The biggest reason for Austin's increasingly negative image is the opinion that there's this encouragement for comedians to have material that most would consider hacky.
In one room, someone's doing their bit about trans people, and then I get down the hall and there's someone on stage going, well, I guess I got to do my bit about trans people. Like, no, you don't. You don't. It's hack now.
Even though he's talking...
It's true. You could say Joe Rogan is bought off. He has a political agenda. But now you can start to see it. It goes into his comedy club. It goes into the comedians that he picks. It goes into his show. It goes into his guests. It goes into his sponsors and his ads. Joe Rogan can claim to be like, oh, I'm in the middle. I just want peace for everybody. But when you see all his actions and you see everything that has his name on it, it all says otherwise. And Mark Maron, the way he does this, it's just like, I don't understand why you got to go out and say all this. If you feel that way, you feel that way. I mean, unless somebody is just like constantly on your doorstep antagonizing you, people do different things. And it's just how it is, and you got to let it be. And I don't understand why Mark had to like call him out on several podcasts. But I can the more this continues on and the Rogansphere falls apart, the more I can understand from his point of view in comedy and keeping it sacred, or at least a standard to it. I can really feel what he's trying to say, even though it's just, for me, it's just like, let those things roll off your back, ignore it, do your thing, you have your fans. But I can also feel what he means, because the Rogansphere is getting stranger and more devious and more corrupt and more full of anger, and the lies are falling, down right in front of us for all of us to see. And it kind of reminds me of like an MLM, like Herbalife. You remember when Herbalife came out, like all the women were drinking it. It was basically just putting you on a calorie deficit, which is how you lose weight, as a calorie deficit. And they're drinking these shakes thinking it was like the miracle juice, right? And then people would open up those shady stores that would be like Health Club. And then you go in and they try and sell you like 25 gallons of Herbalife. And at the beginning of those things, it was all the rage. You saw women like Herbalife, you saw posts and all that. But as soon as people started to figure it out and the truth starts to get out there, people fall away, and it has less power and it has less popularity. And then it finally gets seen for what it is, which is MLMs are basically just business cults. And they just try and scatter and hold on to what they got. There's people out there still selling Herbalife, to this day, and they got them little stores that don't make no money. But it lost its power, and I think that's what's coming for Rogan soon. I just don't see how he holds his grip for much longer.
Talking about his experience at the Comedy Store in LA, what he's describing seems to be the trend in Austin, that instead of comics focusing on good material, they instead make it a priority to be more edgy. And we actually have some inside knowledge backing up this claim. Bobby Lee called this out a few weeks ago when he had Ari Matty on Tiger Belly. He's based in Austin, he came up through Kill Tony, so he's very much a part of that scene.
I want you, like if I meet you, when like you're hanging out with another comedian, he says the N-word around you for the first time?
Yeah.
I like that. That's a little trust that I'm in the circle.
Here we go. Let's talk about this real quick, okay?
Uh-huh.
I'm not with that you guys are doing in Austin.
What do you mean?
Well, let's be real. I don't like some of the words you guys use freely.
Like what?
It's like edgelord shit. It's like
not all of it.
I know, but it's becoming so hacky to me that
100%.
people, you guys use these words just for the shock factor.
100%.
It's like I'm not into it. You know what I mean?
I've been saying this for so long, and people are like, "Oh, you're just not free speech." It's just no. There are words that are offensive, just like there are things you could do to people that most people would agree that you shouldn't do to people, right? There's this common word, and these people do it. He's right. Edgelord. I know I use the word incel, but same thing, right? It is just low-hanging, not even low-hanging. It's like turds on the ground that are stinky, and you just shouldn't mess with it, and you shouldn't pick it up. And that's how people outside of the incel edgelord community, that's how we see it. And it's not like you're bad people. Okay, maybe I'm going a little too far by saying that. You're different people, but that shit right there, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. It's not worth saying a word. Like some of these words you guys say, if you had to go into neighborhoods and say that to people, you could cause riots, you could cause fights, you could lose your life. And it's like, you just say it like it's funny, and it's so childish and dumb, And I'm glad Bobby Lee is finally speaking up. I've been trying to say this, and I got so much criticism for it. But it's just dumb. He's right. It's edgelord. And like, damn, I gain a little bit of respect for Bobby Lee for having the courage to say that. Because this goes directly back to Joe Rogan, Kill Tony, even Ari Matty. I think that guy is just he just don't seem like he's there, and he just wants everybody to like him, and he's not funny either. But Ari Matty will take this back. He started biting his fingernails. He knew what was up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the R word sometimes.
Some might say Bobby Lee's a hypocrite because maybe he's used some of those words in the past, but I would imagine the intention was to be funny as opposed to scoring social points.
Comedy movies are back.
True.
In a big way.
Pendulum swung.
Pendulum's
fully swung.
Maybe too far. Head down to the mothership, you go, ooh.
Yeah.
Pendulum's maybe swung a little too far. Not everyone has to say it.
True.
Every single set.
The thing that Shane isn't considering here is that how else would Rogan know if a comic is anti-woke if they don't say the R word at least once during their set? Pat Dean, who manages the Valve Comedy Club in Austin, started a thread on Reddit so people could ask him what it's really like down there. And although he said that Austin has a wide variety of talented comedians, he mentioned that there's a prevalence of transphobic material or those who like to say the R word excessively, and that some comics feel like it's required. This is the kind of thing Mark Maron was talking about, comics actively trying to be edgy or offensive because they think it will help their careers, but in return they end up having material that feels unoriginal or just consists of low-hanging fruit. Another comic, Steph Tolev, gave her experience when she performed at the Mothership, and it seems to fall right in line with the stereotype that Austin comedy now has.
Have you done the Mothership?
I have.
You have? You like it? You enjoy it down there? Did you do Kill Tony?
No.
No. You didn't like it down there?
You see the adjusting of the sock?
You can be candid. Who cares?
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like the vibe at the Mothership. I got in trouble for being in the green room, apparently.
Oh, you did?
I got a security guard took me into the green room.
Took you right out.
And I was like, hello. And then apparently after I wasn't invited in. So apparently Joe was mad at me.
That you were there?
That I was in the green room.
But he knows who you are. You've met before?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
I met him that day. I got up. I go, hello, how are you? Great club. And then apparently I was ousted the next day.
Wow.
You know, this is y'all have given me such a hard time for calling this incel comedy. But it really is. There's a woman right there. I tried to tell you to keep yourself clean, to smell good, to do your laundry, basic things, and to not berate and put down women and treat them like they're second class. Women will not be attracted to you. This is proof. This is exactly what it is. These are guys that hate women, think everything else is everybody else's fault, and they're all in this angry little group trying to make fun of shit to make themselves feel better. Sounds like an incel to me. I've gotten so much shit for it. And the more that comes out, it is described exactly that way. You could spot them from a mile off.
But I don't like the vibe there. I don't know. I mean, also I'm like, he could have just been like, get the fuck out of it, and like, your club.
Yeah,
your club, your rules.
That's right. Yeah,
but it wasn't that. It was the vibe of the. I did it again last year. It's the other comedians.
Mm-hmm. You don't like it?
It's very F word, retard. It's that women are stupid, women are unfunny, women are.
I haven't disagreed with one thing you've said so far.
It was very misogynistic and homophobic, and I didn't like the vibe.
Yeah.
I will say all the door guys were fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And the club itself is set up. It's fucking incredible.
It is.
It's
good club.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Mitzi's the fucking bar, only having comics in there after. Like the whole, that vibe was great.
Yeah.
But when I was in the room watching these comics, and the problem is I fucking killed. I fucking destroyed. And I was like, and I felt so comfortable on stage. I was like doing crowd work. I'm like, oh, this could be cool. But I'm like, that I have to listen to comics make fun of another gay comic for 15 minutes. Justin Martindale fucking murdered. And then a comic went up after him and just said, he's a piece of shit for 15 minutes. I was like, this is bizarre behavior.
Made fun of the previous. Made fun of him
after he murdered.
So I guess Steph may have spoken up about a comic who was shitting on another comic for being gay, and this ended with her being ousted from the green room. Shane mentioned the pendulum may have swung a little too far. Now some comedians feel like they can be a little too free with their speech, and how much of that is encouraged by the established comedians in Austin is hard to prove, but you just can't ignore the fact that the biggest gatekeepers there have both been as political as you could possibly.
You have to think about it too. Joe Rogan had to apologize a couple years ago for saying the N-word. He was saying that freely. He didn't see anything wrong with it. There is no way, you know, like the craziest thing is going on like a podcast or just content creation in general and saying that word. Like, why? You know, and Joe Rogan felt that comfortable, and he didn't. It took forever to come back out about him. You know, who do you think's doing it? He sets the precedent. And it's his club. It ain't nobody else. If that is going on in that green room, Joe Rogan allows it. He didn't allow her in. He's nipped that shit in the bud right away. Who do you think sets the tone? Joe does. So Joe feels okay with using very racist terms in his club. That's it. Nobody else allows shit in that club. It's Joe's club. You don't have to figure it out. I just told you.
Possibly be in the last year. If we look at Kill Tony, isn't it a weird coincidence that if one of the bucket polls reveals which side they lean politically, it's always right wing, despite Austin typically leaning more blue?
You're gay, you're bi, which means you're also a Democrat. It's all very exciting.
No, Trump 2024.
Oh, wow, very
Goddamn
good.
right.
I voted for Trump.
Well, thank God you did. Here's a little joke book.
I voted for Trump. I have a reason.
You did vote for Trump?
Fuck yeah.
That is so interesting. I love it.
So Austin comedy is seen as right-wing rather than neutral, and even if that stereotype isn't true, it's still becoming a well-known stereotype. And what does that mean for comics thinking about moving there? Are you going to get left-leaning ones avoiding that city and just having mostly right-leaning ones? I think even Joe realizes the last thing you want is a comedy scene where everyone pretty much thinks the same, which is why he's likely now claiming he's not anti-woke.
We're not anti-woke. There's no anti-woke. There's like a shit ton of left-wing comics at the mothership.
I'm guessing when he says we, he can't be talking about himself. He must mean the mothership as a club. Guys, we at the mothership are not anti-woke. I'm anti-woke and I own the place and everyone who works there and performs there worships me, but they don't have to be anti-woke. The second biggest reasons for comics to shit on Austin is the fact that it received too much hype. In Joe's eyes, in order for Austin and his new club to thrive, he had to convince as many comedians as possible to move there. And in order to do that, he had to constantly promote Austin, and in order to do that, he had to constantly shit on LA with the traffic, the excessive homeless population, the cost of living.
And Los Angeles, which is one of the most morally deprived, twisted, ideologically imprisoned places I've ever been to.
So this constant promotion of Austin while shitting on LA clearly convinced some but annoyed others. However, because back then Rogan was still more respected.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. He says that about California, right? Usually the conservatives all shit on California, and then you have the Democrats shitting on Florida. And I get it, politics, but mostly in your day-to-day life, I've been to both recently, and they're awesome. I like it. You don't live there, yeah, but Florida's awesome. People are just outside. They're playing in the water. They're fucking sipping margaritas on like little docks and stuff turned into restaurants. They got all this wonderful nature. They're hunting alligators and shit. A lot of that politics is you notice people get so involved. You make a comment on YouTube and people determine if it's liberal or conservative. And people get so sucked in, it's all they watch, they listen to podcasts, YouTube videos, that they think like that's the real world. And granted, that is what our government is doing, and do however you feel about that in a voting or how politically active you get. But most of day-to-day life, places are what they are, but they aren't always what these political commentators are saying. They're actually really great places, and they're full of people that could interest you. So it's like don't listen to this stuff. Now, dangerous places, that's another story. But these guys, a lot of times they got all wrong. He wouldn't have lived into LA for as long as he did if he thought it was so morally deprived. He was living it up in LA. It's just that he wanted things his way. And I don't think the move is entirely about the whole COVID thing. I also think it's the Comedy Store thing. There's a lot of drama and history, and there was tension there when he was there before he left. And I think Some people want it this way. You could see that with Bobby Lee. All these comics are on the other side in LA. It's crazy how it all adds up.
Everyone mostly kept quiet. If Daddy Rogan says your city is shit, then you gotta eat that. But now the hype is dying down, and the image of the Austin comedy scene is slowly coming to fruition. People are calling it how they see it, which is that the whole exodus to Austin was, in hindsight, insane.
What's New York's take on Austin?
Oh, it's a punchline, for sure.
Really?
I like Austin. I like the mothership's great, and
you have to say that.
Yeah, really. I know. Shane's down there. It's I like Brian Simpson. I like I like all the guys. But
the extreme move out there was ridiculous.
I would never move there.
I think the move out there was ridiculous.
I think
it's 100 people moving there to try to get one of 8 spots available at Mothership.
And they keep saying, "Hey, it's a boom, a comedy boom," but it's one club.
One club, and the Creek in the Cave.
There's
Creek in the Cave and Cap City. That's it. Really? Everything else is a bar.
Yeah.
Recently, Andrew Santino had Joe DeRosa on his pod for him to promote his new special, and they almost immediately started talking about the current negative image of Austin. DeRosa moved out there during the lockdown in New York and hasn't looked back. Rogan's been giving him a lot of stage time, so naturally he's still very loyal to Rogan and Austin.
There's something about the place that I'm just not...
the place you mean Austin?
Yeah, the mothership Austin, that's all one.
You just mean, so you're talking about just this whole concept of Austin comedy?
Yeah, Austin comedy. Let me just stamp this.
What's that?
There's a lot of people down there that I do love. I think my issue with it...
Wait, COVID?
The Austin thing.
Okay.
No, the issue that I was trying to articulate, I don't know how to say it. Because
I could tell you were a little nervous. It sounded like you were shitting on it, and you weren't shitting on it.
No, I'm not. I don't care.
You were, but
no, I am shitting on it partially. I mean, partially, I think it's fucking clown fart bullshit.
But what's clown fart bullshit?
There's some of the fuckhead dickheads down there.
Well, there's dickheads everywhere, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So I don't need to leave dickheads to go see more dickheads.
But there's dickheads everywhere you go.
I know, dude. I hate it.
My point is like, this is my point. You go, if you're going to live somewhere to partake in a scene and being near it is helpful, then you obviously got to go that clicks with you. And I love Austin for that. It really works for me. Yeah. And New York worked for me for a long time, too.
And L.A.
I didn't care for.
Did not work for you.
No, I didn't care for it. But my point is any criticism you could have of the Austin scene, you could easily have of the New York and LA scene.
Of course you can. Yeah, no, that's true.
So my thing is like this media tornado around all of it, where every article that gets written talks about like the male gaze of Austin comedy and the manosphere and all this stuff. I'm just like, it's all bullshit. Like none of that's real, and then it makes even somebody like you, who's not really worried about any of that, right?
No, it's more.
It puts this haze over it before you even get there.
No, it's only because I think I can't find the right words. I'm not a smart enough person, but it's also because like Big Brother Joe is there, and when he left, Rogan was like trying to tell a lot of us to like be like, you got to get the fuck out of LA, and this became a narrative of like, fuck LA sucks, dude. Fuck LA, and all these people were like kind of ringing this thing. I mean, you may not have heard this, but that was like a constant.
No, I was one of the people saying it.
Yeah, it was annoying. It was annoying. It was annoying. There's just so many people being like, get out, get out, get out. But it's like, I'm not fucking getting out to stream down there. Just relax. Like, so I think that annoyed me. So then I was like, well, I'm not bringing my ball. I'm not going to come play with you guys because you fucking pissed me off. You got to go to this restaurant. This restaurant is the best. You don't think I'm the best. I'm like, I'm not going. I'm not going to eat the fucking food. Just relax. That's what it is.
Well,
annoying, like, you got to get out of LA, dude. What are you even doing there?
And there you have it. Joe's promo of Austin, which basically consisted of bashing LA as much as possible, has now backfired. There's obviously more to Austin comedy than Rogan and Kill Tony, but sadly that's what people think of when Austin comes to mind. Let me know what you guys think though. If you enjoyed this, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.
There's something about...
There it is, guys. Man, we've been saying this. We have been saying this stuff, and look at it all unfold before your eyes. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild how much Joe has been meddling in the background. All the little things. And granted, he's famous. People can say stuff. But a lot of these stories all line up. And he is just... keeps a tight rein on that club. And the reason is that's the only place Joe Rogan is funny. And he that's why you don't see much talent ever leaving the mothership, it either stays within Kill Tony or Rogan anoints someone to come on the podcast, but they just can't get mainstream success. They just can't. It's just not possible. And that's because Rogan doesn't allow anybody that's funnier than him. And that means that's a lot of unfunny people in that building, which is mostly true, give or take, right? And that's why he keeps it that way, because if anybody outshines Rogan, then it points a spotlight on his bullshit. And the mothership is just his bullshit protector, right? And it keeps all the stuff away, all the light from shining down and exposing him. And he can hide in that club, and people will say he's funny because he's paying them and allowing them to be in his presence. Let me know what you think in the comments and why Austin is dying. And do you think any of these comedians make sense to you? Share this video. Peace.